Welcome back. We're going to tackle a huge challenge today, one that every organization faces when they try to get serious about their environmental impact. They're staring at a mountain of data, just countless data points, and they have to ask, which ones actually matter? How do you get from all that information to a smart, clear decision?
So, to help us navigate this, we're looking to the Task Force on Nature-Related Financial Disclosures, or the TNFD for short. They've put together a really solid framework that helps companies and their investors make sense of their relationship with the natural world.
And yeah, that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. Think about it. A company's impact can touch on water, land, the air, biodiversity, and that's across their entire supply chain. It's just an overwhelming amount of information. So how on earth do you find the signal in all that noise?
Well, the answer is a framework they call the LEAP approach. It's a pretty straightforward four-step process: locate, evaluate, assess, and prepare. For today, we're going to zero in on that second step, evaluate, because this is really where a company gets to grips with its actual footprint.
All right, let's get right into it. Before you can evaluate anything, you've got to measure it, right? This is ground zero for getting any kind of clarity on what your organization is actually doing out there.
So, when it comes to measurement, you're basically looking at two flavors. On one side, you've got the quantitative stuff. These are the hard numbers. We're talking tons of this, cubic meters of that. Then, on the other side, you've got the qualitative data. This gives you context, rating things as, say, high, medium, or low impact. You absolutely need both to get the full picture.
And this is such a crucial point. Collecting all this data, both the numbers and the context, it's a fantastic start. But a long list of facts and figures doesn't magically tell you what to do next. It really is only half the story. Which leads us to the big question, right? You've done the hard work, you've gathered the data, you've got the numbers in front of you, but how do you figure out which of those numbers represent the most critical issues for your business and for the environment?
The answer, and this is a really key concept, is something called materiality. The best way to think about it is as a super powerful filter. It's the tool you use to sort through everything you've gathered and pinpoint what's truly significant.
So, if you look at the official definition, it says something is material if it's about your company's significant impacts, positive or negative, on people or the planet. In plain English, what does that mean? It means figuring out which of your impacts are big enough that you really need to pay attention and do something about them.
I absolutely love this analogy. It's perfect. You go for a checkup, you get a report back with dozens of data points, blood pressure, cholesterol, all that stuff. But you don't obsess over every single number. The doctor points to 2 or 3 and says, these are material to your health. These are the ones we need to focus on. That is exactly what a materiality assessment does for a company's environmental health.
Okay, so this is where the rubber meets the road. Let's see how these two ideas, measurement and materiality, actually work together to turn all that raw data into a real strategic tool you can use.
So just imagine a company has collected all this data. You've got water use, land use change, emissions, even some good news like habitat restoration. Right now, it's just a jumble of numbers. It's really hard to know where to even begin.
To make any sense of this list, you've got to ask 2 really important questions that cut right to the heart of materiality. First, how severe is each of these impacts? And second, how likely is it to have a major effect on the environment or on the business itself?
And bam, this is the materiality matrix. This is how you visually transform that messy list into a clear strategy. You take each of those data points and you plot it based on its severity and its likelihood. All of a sudden, a picture starts to emerge. See that top right box? Things like water usage land there, high severity and high likelihood. Those are your material issues.
And that's the magic right there. That's the aha moment. The whole process takes that overwhelming mountain of data we started with and boils it down to a short, manageable list of real priorities. It gives you incredible focus.
So, you might be thinking, why go through all this trouble? Well, because the payoff isn't just about ticking a box for a report. It's about fundamentally changing how a company sees its place in the world.
And that's the crucial point here. This is not just a reporting exercise, it is a powerful strategic tool. It leads to way better risk management, a smarter and more focused strategy, and it means you put your money and people where they can have the biggest effect. It even helps you spot opportunities to do good and makes your business more resilient for the long haul.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The TNFD guidance says it right there.
The whole point of doing this assessment is to directly inform those big, critical decisions about risk, about strategy, and about where you're going to allocate your resources.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. This process gives companies a clear path, a roadmap from messy data to clear decisions. So just imagine, what could we achieve on a global scale if every single organization used this kind of clarity to focus its energy not on everything, but on the things that truly materially matter